ChatGPT 5.5 just dropped, and it's claiming it's the most sophisticated model, especially for finance and working with spreadsheets. So in this video, I want to put that to the test. I'm first going to test its ability to create a board level summary for a startup. I'll then test how easily it could bring that summary into Excel. And finally, I'll ask it to create a full 3-statement model tied to the same dashboard. Will it work or be an epic fail? Let's find out. All right, so I first just want to make sure that I'm using the right version of ChatGPT. So I changed this over here to thinking, and I'm going to just write this prompt asking to confirm that I'm using ChatGPT 5.5. All right, and it looks like it confirmed that I indeed am using the right version, and where it's saying what it's better at, this is what I'm interested in the most, reasoning specifically with FP&A. Now, it also has a note over here that it's better with documents and spreadsheets. All right, so I heard that ChatGPT 5.5 is like scary good when it comes to visuals. So the first thing that I want to do is test not only how well it could prepare a slide that I may show to investors or to leadership, but I want to also see how well it could think like a finance analyst. So I wrote over here, generate an infographic showcasing the financial statements of a startup between Series A and Series B, show it on an annual basis for what you think the business mostly should look like, and make it in a very pretty visual with a lot of key details. All right, and it's thought for 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Let's take a look at this. And let's see how good of a job this did. So first, just looking at this is very aesthetically pleasing. I like that over here we have KPI cards, and then it looks like we have the income statement followed by the balance sheet as well as the cash flows. And then we also have some helpful notes across the bottom and across the right side. So let me actually look at these numbers and see if they make sense. So between Series A and Series B, 8.3 million ARR. Yeah, I could buy that. Now, of course, ARR isn't the same as annual revenue because revenue represents how much you've actually earned, whereas ARR could just mean a contract signing. So I understand why this is 6.8 million. Now, year over year growth, I've heard of saying triple, double, double for startups. So maybe this is a little bit light, but still some pretty aggressive growth. Now, this gross margin also makes sense, especially if it's a software as a service business, and a strong net loss also makes sense. Great that this company has 8.4 million in cash. That's a strong place where you can raise capital. And of course, 62 people. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You also start to have different departments at that point. So I buy it. All right, let's now take a look at what it did over here. All right, so I like this view here where it shows a P&L for just one specific period, and it's broken out by department over here. And then this waterfall is also pretty cool. I've never really presented a waterfall with this many schedules on it, but I like that it shows you starting at revenue, what caused the impact for it to go all the way down to a $4 million net loss. This also makes sense on the right-hand side. I like this gauge chart. The balance sheet is also pretty cool, how it separated assets from liabilities and owner's equity. Of course, deferred revenue is going to be a big part in a SaaS business. Now, I also love the way it's presenting the statement of cash flows, because once again, it's that waterfall that shows you the beginning cash and then all the changes that got you to the ending cash. And unlike the P&L, where you start at one point and you just keep going down, the statement of cash flows has both ups and downs. So these are the add backs, the net cash from operations, investing, and then financing. And that ultimately gets us to our bridge of the ending cash balance. I like it. So I'm pretty impressed with this. Now for context, this is how I typically would showcase information. Now this of course is directly in Excel, which we're gonna test out in a second. But what I like about this approach is I'm showcasing KPI metrics similar to what ChatGPT did. And I'm comparing that against the prior period, prior year, and even the budget. Now, if I wanted more of a financials view, it would probably be something like this. Now, this most likely wouldn't fit the bill for a Series A to Series B company, maybe more like a Series Seed company. And it has the P&L summarized in a tabular view, as well as the balance sheet summarized in a tabular view, and the same for the statement of cash flows and even headcount. So that was pretty impressive. I want to see how quickly it could now present this data in a very different format. So I wrote, this is a very interesting way to showcase this information. Keep all the actual data the same, but find a completely new way to convey pretty much all of this. So use different charts, different tables, different KPI styles, different themes, whatever you need to do based off the same data set, but make it look completely different, yet still relevant. All right, now this is what it came up with. And this isn't really too different. I believe this is called a Sankey chart over here. The KPI cards still showcase over here, but maybe some different icons. All right, this doesn't really seem like it's too different. Still impressive. Let me try something new. I'm gonna ask it to make it look like it was posted on the New York Times. And interesting, it says I can't make it look like it was posted by the New York Times or use that branding or style directly. Maybe this has to do with the lawsuit I believe that they had earlier. So instead, I'm just going to ask it to create something with a similar branding. And now this is what it showed. So I guess this kind of looks like it could be from a newspaper. Newspapers usually don't have colors like this, but I do like how this time it shows the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flows all in these separate columns. All right, well, this time I wanted to pick newspaper colors, so only black and white or any other colors that show up in a newspaper, maybe even make the background a little yellow or gray like a newspaper. And now this is what it came up with. So I think this is a little bit more believable to come from a newspaper. You certainly have that like newspaper rustic look across these three columns. Maybe I wouldn't believe this orange and blue, but I still think this is pretty impressive. So we know that its image generation capability is pretty impressive. Now let's see how well it could do in Excel. And before I utilized it in Excel, I actually tried ChatGPT for Excel back in January, and I was pretty underwhelmed at the job that it did. On the other hand, I also tried Claude for Excel, and I was blown away by its capabilities. All right, so I have an income statement and a balance sheet, and about 3 weeks ago, I used ChatGPT in Excel's add-in to create a few 3-statement models, and I was very underwhelmed. Maybe it was about a month ago that I recorded it. On the flip side, me doing this in Claude 4.6, it passed with fine colors. What do you think? Do you think if I were to give this a task right now, you would knock it out of the ballpark and do an even better job than Claude 4.6? All right, so it seems a lot more bullish. It says, I think yes, I would do a meaningfully better job than ChatGPT in Excel did a month ago. I would not promise though to beat Claude 4.6 blindly unless I see the task. So I find this interesting. It's saying that ChatGPT in Excel is not the ChatGPT full model experience here. The add-in may have tighter context limits, weaker file awareness, less ability to inspect a workbook structure, and less reasoning over formulas and layout. So it's saying it's expecting to do really well if I give it the income statement and balance sheet, and maybe even it would beat Claude. So what does that mean then? I need to do all of the work directly in ChatGPT here, not ChatGPT for Excel. So let me just ask that. All right, and it confirms, send it here, not in the Excel add-in. It's asking me to upload the Excel file here, tell me the goal, the forecast period, and all of that. So let's try that. Why don't I give that infographic back to ChatGPT and say, hey, now create this in Excel. All right, so let me just ask, if I asked you to put this in a spreadsheet for me, to copy everything in terms of design here, but in a spreadsheet so that I could edit the numbers, would you be able to do that? And it looks like it feels confident that it can. It would be editable, it would recreate this newspaper style, and it of course won't be perfect, but it will be fully editable, and it thinks that is very doable. All right, so I'm gonna write, the final image I want matched is the one that I just shared or the last one that you generated. The preferred size is exactly the size that you have here, so LinkedIn portrait is fine. The output should be optimized for editing in Excel, but still just as pretty as the design of the infographic. So let's see what happens when this actually runs, because I'm genuinely intrigued. Can it take a picture it created and recreate that in Excel? That would be pretty crazy. All right, built the first editable Excel version. Infographic tab is where the newspaper style visual is. Then there's an inputs tab as well. It preserved the same data set. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm gonna click on this download button, and now I'm gonna open up the file that it created. All right, and this already is making me a little bit nervous. It says, we found a problem with some of the content. Do you want us to try to recover it? See where this goes. And wow, I'm actually pretty impressed with what I'm seeing here. All right, so again, this is the repairs. I'm not really sure why that happened, but I'm gonna go ahead and close this. And this is honestly pretty impressive. So this is all the information that it is pulling from in the infographic. And let's just do a comparison. So this is the infographic that we were just working on. And this is now the Excel file. So how does it even have this over here? Wow, this is in a chart. It's using the repeat function with this text over here. That's pretty cool. And then I guess it just shows that same image. I don't even know what this text is. So instead of using charts, it put these weird characters that kind of look like charts. Now, where exactly is it getting these values from? Wow, that's interesting. So it's combining both the text and the formula into one cell. And it looks like it's doing that for all of these over here. And if I look at the inputs now, it looks like all the inputs are flowing from this tab. So if I just change annual revenue to, let's say 10.8, and I go back to the tab, well, there we go. It looks like it all came together. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty impressed that from just a prompt, it not only created this image in the exact style that I wanted it to, but it then put this information into Excel. Well, let's see if we can kick this up a notch. So this is the file that I sent it before. where it has my balance sheet as exported from my accounting software, and then also my income statement. And about a month or two ago, when I asked it to send back the work, this is what it did. Pretty unformatted, summarized information. The assumptions were only for a handful of accounts. I don't even know what this model map is. So let me now try giving it this time to actually ChatGPT 5.5 instead of ChatGPT in Excel. So I'm gonna find this file. All right, so let me just use now the voice feature for my next prompt to see if I could actually get it to give me the prompt to create the financial model that'll generate this dashboard. I want to give you a historical income statement and balance sheet in Excel, and I want you to create a 3-statement model that has a drivers tab with proper places that I could toggle assumptions and projections all the way through 2026. I also want you to include that newspaper-like dashboard that you just showed me. Send me back the prompt that you suggest that I use in order to make sure that you do a good job. Include error checks and anything else that a world-class financial modeler will use. All right, so I'm gonna click that button. And it looks like it gave me a lot of different prompts. So I'm just gonna say, give me the best single prompt to use. All right, so it says I uploaded an income statement and balance sheet. These are the tabs that it wants for the workbook structure. These are the core requirements, the inputs and drivers, the error check, and then of course that newspaper dashboard, styling, and everything else. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be really impressed if it does a good job with this. So I'm gonna copy and paste that information over here. I'm gonna click on add photos or files, and I'm gonna use these Model Wiz financial statements, January 24 through December 2025, and I'll hit enter. And while it's doing this, I wanna just show you what my financial model looks like so that we know what a bar for success is. So of course, my financial model has a full income statement with historicals and projections, and the same thing for a balance sheet and cash flows. And that's what a 3-statement model is. And like I was saying earlier, I have this drivers tab where everything is consolidated. So I have all of my historicals being pulled in over here. And then for my projections, I have this drop down where I can just say prior year or a monthly assumption or a 6-month average. And of course, that's not only my P&L. If I go down to my balance sheet, over here, I have $1 million that I'm adding to the balance sheet. And you can see that information show up on the balance sheet right here. Now, these are what I like to call simple projections, where you're just entering in a single number or you're toggling to an input. There are also more comprehensive projections. So this headcount tab is a perfect example where I can see all of my headcount information, and that information gets summarized by all these different departments. I also have a tab here for forecasting out accounts payable. I have another one for forecasting out accounts receivable. And then these dashboards allow me to summarize all of my information from one period versus another period or a prior year or even a budget across all 3 of my statements. And of course, I have tons of other dashboards here. I built all of this with our tool Model Wiz. Now, this is an Excel add-in. It'll actually tie directly to your accounting data and generate world-class financial models and dashboards that you can customize entirely on your own right in Excel. And if you want to try it out, you can, entirely free at modelwiz.com. So let's go back to ChatGPT now and see if it's ready. And it looks like it's still working on all that information. All right, and we're officially done. So it looks like it took about 14 minutes in order to complete, but I really gotta know, what exactly did it do? Was it able to download this information? It looks like it did everything. And oh, you may have noticed that it is daddy care time, and I really wanted to get this video out. So Daddy's helper is gonna help me with the video, right? All right, let's take a look. Now, again, whenever I try to open this file, it tells that there are issues. So yes, recover as much as you can. And let's enable the editing. All right, so we got a README tab over here. This is pretty cool. A recovered sheet. Ooh, this is pretty neat. Now it's saying that I have some links here. Let me just see if I click on data, workbook links. This is linking to a separate file called drivers. Let me see if I can click open workbook. Yeah, I don't really see it anywhere. The balance sheet over here looks like it checks, but ooh, that's an issue. And it looks like it's because of that driver sheet. So let me just see if I go to data, workbook links, and I click change source. Will it fix itself if I point to this existing file? It looks like it doesn't. So this looks promising, but all the projections have a ref error. Yeah, I can't really read any of this. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed too. All right, I'm gonna have to go back to ChatGPT and see if we could do something about this. So I'm gonna write, this file has an external reference to a file called drivers that cannot be found. So there are ref errors everywhere. Can you fix this? Someone's getting a little antsy, so I have to try this again in a sec. All right, and we're back, and my wife was nice enough to take over my daddy care duties. So it looks like ChatGPT says that it fixed the issue. It was because it had a slash, which sometimes causes issues. All right, I get it. I've heard worse excuses from analysts. Let's see how it did this time. So I'm gonna open up this fixed version, and once again, this weird repair problem keeps coming up. But now I can hit enable editing, and it looks like everything is now working. So if I click on inputs and drivers, I now see that it created different use cases. Can I toggle between these? I can only switch to, it says that this is a base case. I don't really know if this is something that I can change. Is it in a README file? All right, so it pulled in my source income statement and balance sheet with no formatting, which is okay. I'm not sure why it combined that all into this one tab, but maybe it just made it easier for it to work with. Let's see what this income statement looks like. So only showcasing information on a summarized view, which I guess is okay. It's taking for R&D B22, 24, and 33. Let's see what that looks like. So 22 is dues and subscriptions, office supplies and software, and contractors. All right, that's a little bit weird. For sales and marketing, 19, 21, and 44. I guess this makes a little bit more sense. Advertising, conferences, and travel, meals, and entertainment. I think commissions probably would have been a good one to include. And what's going on with the error checks? Okay, so I like this over here. It created a very similar error check to how I would have created one. So this is my version, and this is ChatGPT's version. I'm almost wondering, did it like find one of my templates online and steal the format? I like this over here as well, that this is a warning only. All right, for supporting schedules, it looks like we have one for fixed assets, debt, stock, and retained earnings. The cash flow statement. So this looks like it's entirely dynamic, which is great. The ending cash over here, if I go to the balance sheet, it looks like that information is pulling through. So I'm pretty impressed. Now let's check the whole reason we came here, this newspaper dashboard. I don't know if I would say that this format matches to the format that we had in our other file. And it looks like I need to also extend some of this, but I think this is close enough. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. It got the drivers, it got the full 3-statement model, it got the error checks, and it even maintained that newspaper dashboard. Well done, ChatGPT. But I'm curious what your take is. Do you think that you would use this in your job? Is this potentially going to replace the need for analysts? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see how Claude did in this video, well, you can check out this video right here. I'm Josh, your CFO guy, and I'll catch you next time.